Welcome to Firstpost. This is a special edition of First Sports here. And of course, it is like none other. Hello and welcome. What a historic day it's been. Incredible cricket. Two teams hungry for the silverware. Emotions ran high. It was a close finish. And the World Cup witnessed some very poignant scenes right after the match. And we will not just bring you some key moments from the game. There's lots more lined up. We look back at the tournament that was, what were the hits and misses. We'll hear from South Africa as well. How do they feel about this monumental achievement and another episode of So Near Yet So Far? I know it's late in the night for you, but if you're up and around, especially in the subcontinent, the party, of course, is starting, and especially across in the Americas, the party has begun. A T20 World Cup final like no other. It went down to the wire, and it was that kind of a final when it was about the nerves, about the calmest holding on till the very last moment. And the best part, two unbeaten sides coming in, and India finally breaking its ICC Trophy jinx. And South Africa, well, heartbreak once more, and this one will definitely hurt a lot. My mind, of course, goes back to the time when West Indies hosted a World Cup. The year was 2007. It was an ODI World Cup. Australia completely ran riot in that edition, and what a tournament it was for them, ending as champions. And there has been one thing common between that World Cup and this one. A team that stayed unbeaten went on to lift the World Cup. So it was all about pressure and intensity. This was just one shot at glory, and as someone who's watched and followed cricket for years, the moment was not lost on us. The burden of history and a baggage that can weigh you down is not something you can carry for too long. Both these sides were entering a final wearing the tag of that burden. South Africa, a first-time World Cup finalist in the senior category, and India, the weight of coming close to all of its expectations and folding at the final hurdle every single time. India got some things right, like the toss at the beginning, and the batting, even though had its hiccups. I have to speak about two people in particularly, Virat Kohli and Axar Patel. Of course, one who's had a pretty tepid World Cup. He did not score at all, not even in a single game. But come the big final and the big moment, Virat Kohli scored, and he was the biggest contributor in this match. And the prime reason that India put up a daunting total on board. He scored his first 50 in the final. And what a moment it came in. He did not go on the offensive like his other partner in crime did. I guess that was the plan, but he hit some lusty blows towards the end. Now let's face it, in a World Cup final, you always want to set a target, not chase it, because the pressure on a chasing side is incredible. More than when you are bowling second. So a target of 177 is massive in a T20 World Cup final. The other player we have to look at is who was very critical to this Indian campaign, and not just the final. It has to be Axar Patel, the man who was not supposed to be the primary all-rounder for India as per the plans and the squad. It was going to be Hardik Pandya for the pace and Ravindra Jadeja for spin. And Axar is ending this World Cup being one of the key reasons for India to be in the final. And his bravado in the final with the bat was absolutely essential. The need to keep the strike rate ticking, of course, fell on South Africa's shoulders, especially when they started their run chase. And it was executed beautifully by Tristan, Stubbs and Quinton de Kock. Yes, they started slow, and India wanted to slow the game down further then. But when these two came to the crease, that's when there was a bit of a partnership and that was developing. And that's when Kuldeep and Axar came in to try and stop this run flow. But these two kept hustling. Not the kind of response you normally see from a Proteas batting lineup. Both kept South Africa in the hunt. Axar Patel proved to be critical yet again, breaking that partnership. But India had to bear the brunt of Hendricks Klaasen coming in later on. His onslaught really took the game towards South Africa. So the South African dismantled Axar Patel, which proved to be a very critical phase in their run chase, because that over brought the scores level. He struck some big blows, especially against Axar, to tilt the scales in Proteas' favour, something he's done consistently in this tournament. A big tick for South Africa. And yes, we saw quite the seesaw affair there because nerves were high. Everyone was on the edge of their seats. But then, of course, came the Jasprit Bumrah show. Him coming into his own. Trust the most dangerous bowler in the Indian lineup to come up with the goods when the pressure was high. It was his over that completely turned things around once again and shifted the momentum to India. The tense moments in the game was extremely palpable, and it was down to David Miller then. The only proper bat left who really could get the job done, because it was a little less than 20, around 18 overs, 18 runs left with a little more than an over to spare. And of course, in the last over, Hardik Pandya comes in. Can you just picture this? The man who was booed and has had a horrendous Indian Premier League season, who came into the World Cup in a world of pain, was bowling the very last over to David Miller, his former teammate at IPL, and what an over it was. They say catches win matches, and nothing could have really reiterated that than a stunner that Suryakumar Yadav took at the ropes, coming back in and taking a stunning catch to dismiss David Miller, which proved to be the final nail in the coffin, really. Redemption was never sweeter for a team that had crumbled in the ODI World Cup just 7 months ago, for a player who was under pressure and ended up bowling the most intense last over, and they did it without losing a single game. What a moment for Rohit Sharma, the skipper. I mean, these visuals are just incredible. He in fact lay down on the ground. He collapsed on the ground right after that last ball. Hardik Pandya sinked down to the floor and of course broke into tears. The team all celebrating with the biggest hugs going around, the players breaking down in tears, Hardik Pandya sobbing there, Rohit Sharma folding his hands, as you can see, and thanking the fans who've backed this Indian side for months on end. Mohammad Siraj couldn't even speak. His emotions were getting the better of him. Rahul Dravid, all of them really speaking wonders. But of course, on the other side, we have to speak about South Africa. On the today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies.